This is Bill Burleson with Flexible Press, and I'm here with author Abdul Duray to talk about his book, Oromo Witness. Abdul, tell us why you wrote Oromo Witness.
I wrote Oromo Witness to preserve oral history. And primarily, I wanted my children and their peers, second generation immigrants, to know where they come from. And I wanted them to also understand the struggle the previous generation went through. And this is important because no matter what challenge they face today, if they persevere, they can overcome any problem. And deep down, I really want them to be an informed, resilient citizens.
Excellent. How has the book been received by the community?
Very well so far, and especially around the young people, it was a hit. I heard many stories of people putting overnight, all-nighters to finish, and many people, young people, told me the roller coaster emotion they went through as they read the book. And because they can relate to some of those events they've heard of it, some of they didn't. But when they read some of the stories that they heard previously orally for the first time on paper, it had a powerful impact on people.
That's wonderful. One of the things that excited us, one of the many things that excited us about the book when it was first proposed, was that to me, it was like the American experience. Is so many groups have people have come here for various reasons, and the struggles that when they leave, and when the struggles when they arrive. How do you think the Oromo community, which is a huge community in Minnesota, how do you think the experience is similar or different than other immigrant experiences?
That is a very important question, and I can talk to you about my own experience and my cohort of immigrants. The immigrant experience is tough. For better or worse, you start from scratch, right? And basically the mindset is you don't expect anything from anyone, and you get all the support that you can get, all the help you can get, and most of the time you don't even know where to get help.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And because it's totally new country, it's a new culture, new language, it is daunting and overwhelming. And I know that for some of my peers, and all of us, is there is also families that we left behind in our home country, and who thinks to some extent coming to United States, right immediately as you arrive, you have some power and financials to help them back. So the expectation is very high, and your influence and power is very little. And this situation forced many young people that in my cohort to immediately hit work and jobs. That means giving up on education, which in turn means low wage jobs. And that is part of the difficulty, right? And when I come to the United States about 20 years ago, I was very fortunate, first to come to the United States, and second, very fortunate to have adult in my life, my uncle and my aunt who valued education. My uncle believed education is really key for bringing about change, whether it's a social change, political change, or economic change, right? And he often says, people who are educated and organized are catalysts for change, and they can, decide their own destiny. So I was kind of fortunate in that sense, and the immigrant experience is pretty similar.
Mm. Yeah, you spoke a little bit about the homeland. So there's been a really difficult challenges lately for Ethiopia, at least as I read it in the news. what was so much great success recently with a Nobel Peace Prize for the president of the country, to now there is warfare in the north. How does the Oromo experience and Oromo Witness help us understand a little bit more about that, what's going on in Ethiopia right now?
That is a great question, Bill. Because in 2019, when I was writing this book, the country, Ethiopia, was at its highest point. You know, the new Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed, received a Nobel Peace Prize for ending the two decades long conflict with neighboring Eritrea. And the country was on a way to massive transformation. And for my book, because you know, I've been collecting information, you know, history up until this point, you know, throughout as I was collecting information for the previous few years, I was like, how is this going to end? You know, it's all about struggle, 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 struggle. But it came 2019 when I saw that it was an amazing conclusion of the book, to see that all that struggle that happened over 100 years is coming to fruition. But of course, if you look at right now, especially the last 2 months, you know, what is happening is a tragedy, is a crisis, right? And I'm not surprised though, even though, you know, it's, I am not surprised, because at the core of it, it is about power struggle. And the ruling party that was previously in charge for the previous 3 decades wanted to get power, get back to power by, you know, attacking the Northern Command. And if they were able to convince the Northern Command, there was no one who would stand on their way. So they will come back, take back the country. And this is only the last step of event that they took, because the previous 2 years, they've been sabotaging the change every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really want to understand, right, you need to understand why all of this happening, right? So if you want to get at the root cause of it and get the background about this, maybe the best thing they could do is to pick up Oromo Witness, right? So Oromo Witness, in that is about 250 pages, so 240 pages. I cover almost 100 years, a little over 100 years of the Ethiopian history from personal eyewitness account standpoint. The key players that are right now that you hear about today are the same key players that I wrote about, that's been in play for the last 100 years or so. Mm-hmm. So I do believe Oromo Witness brings special insight for people who want to understand the grievances and the injustices that were happening in the country.
This is wonderful. I think it's an incredible book. I think it's an important book. I think as somebody who lives in the Twin Cities, I think it's important that we learn about different places, we learn about our neighbors, and we learn about these experiences. This is, I think you wrote a great, fast read, and it's a very enjoyable book. So this is Bill Burleson again with Flexible Press, been talking with Abdul Dure, and Oromo Witness is available at your favorite bookseller, or if you are a bookseller, through Ingram or Draft to Digital for the ebook. Thank you again for joining me, and I appreciate it, and take care.
Thank you, Bill.